This is Richard Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour. It is July 3rd, 2018. Today we're going to talk about the 2018 Chiefs draft class. And, I want to start with, obviously, our first pick in the draft, Braylon Speaks, an edge rusher from Mississippi. He's an explosive player. I would definitely call him electric. He just brings a lot to the table. He is all over the field. You can tell that he's a leader. He is just a playmaker all around. He's 6'3". He's a beast. If you saw this man in person, you would see just how big he is. He's massive. Extremely athletic, and he's fast off the corner. He's relentless. He stays with the play. He's great at getting off blocks. When you watch the highlights, he seems to have an open lane on every play. And so his ability to get off the block, and it looks like he drops back a lot of times. I'll notice that, like a linebacker. So he'll kind of like drop back and wait for the play to develop and then, rush to the ball. He's always around the ball. He gets his hands up. He just, overall, for our scheme, he fits perfectly. He's the edge rusher. We need somebody who's quick off the ball with good hands and can get to the quarterback. If we can apply pressure, then our defensive backs can do what they're paid to do. I think that he is a starter. He can make an impact on our team immediately. That was a great pickup. You've heard about him all year round if you paid attention to college football at all last year. So overall, I give him a B as far as, the draft class is concerned. I'm going to move on to our next pick. This was an interesting pick for me. Derek Nottie, defensive tackle from Florida State. He had 53 tackles, 10 for a loss of yards, 3.5 sacks, six sacks his junior year. I'm sorry, one forced fumble his senior year. He's a tank. He's a big boy. He's really, really good at stuffing the run. He's another one that has great hands and can get off blocks. When you watch the highlights, he seems to be in every play. He's got great footwork. I think that eventually he'll break into the starting lineup. I'm not really sure if he'll be one of those immediate impact players. He was also on a really good Florida State defense. So I look at someone like Nottie as a progressive player. Somebody will have to build up. I just can't see him breaking into the starting lineup. But still a really good overall second pick in the 2018 draft. We'll go ahead and move on to my overall number one pick for the Chiefs this year. From what I see of him, we're talking about Dorian O'Daniel from Clemson. He's a linebacker / safety. You can call him a hybrid player. But you watch the tape on this guy. Holy cow. You want to talk about all over the field. This guy is electric. I mean, in coverage, as an edge rusher, a run stopper, dropping back in coverage, being all over the field, having energy, being electric. He will make an immediate impact on our team. He fits in perfectly for our scheme. I cannot say enough about this guy. Complete player. You can tell that he's got love for the game. He's passionate. He knows what he's doing. He fits perfectly right there with Dee Ford and Reggie Ragland and our new addition, from the Cowboys. Um, I don't have it written down in front of me right now. I know I can't think of his name, but I look at him and I look at a Derek Thomas, like a more versatile Derek Thomas. I love what I see out of this guy. He was all over the field in every play. Seemed like he was making every tackle. We're talking about a guy that had 88 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 sacks, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that is impressive. That's a great senior year. At 6'1", 215, he's good size. He's got huge arms. When you watch the highlights, this guy isn't just tackling you. He's taking your head off. He is just aggressive. He's a monster. And he fits right perfect with Hitchens. Hitchens is going to be a great mentor for him. And I look for those two to really, really light up the quarterbacks this year. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our Armani Watts, safety from Texas A&M. He was our 4th pick in the 2018 draft. He's another playmaker, a complete player. I see this trend in all of our picks so far. Complete players, all of them all over the field, aggressive, attacking the ball. And, that's a strength of Armani Watts too. You watch the highlights, all you hear is this guy's name. And then, the announcers in the games would say it. He blocks punts, interceptions, sacks, blocks field goals, great against the run. We're 87 tackles, a half sack, 4 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles. I mean, that's a guy that we need on Kansas City's defense. I think that his skill set as a safety, I think that he'll hop in the starting lineup right away. He's going to make a huge impact. We need a safety that is, good over the top and aggressive at the ball. Someone to complement Eric Berry. You put Eric Berry and Amerson and Armani Watts and the pickup we got from Washington. I don't have it written down. I see it a winning formula. Kendall Fuller. I had to look at the depth chart real quick. Kendall Fuller, that's on the other side of Amerson. And I look at those 4, and that will be a very, very dynamic, aggressive secondary. We lost our main quarterback, Marcus Peters, who is extremely aggressive. But I do want to tell you this. Armani Watts is just like Peters. So get excited. I think that that's going to be a huge difference maker in our defense. So I look already, at our top 4 picks, and I see 3 starters already. Braylon Speaks, Dorian O'Daniel, Armani Watts. And, we'll move on to our 5th pick here, Tremon Smith, out of Central Arkansas. He is one of those that he's a sleeper DB in the draft. But you have to understand he comes from the Division II school. So the speed and the game speed and the dynamic of the sport compared to Division I and NFL, is going to be a big challenge. So I look for him to be another that kind of has a slow first year and really just gets worked into the system. But I think he'll be around. He is a playmaker. He's big. He's fast. He has good hands. He 41 tackles and 5 interceptions. He's another one who's all over the field. It seems like the trend is the same. All dynamic playmakers that are all over the field. So I look him to, be adjusted into the depth chart and be worked into the rotation here and there. But I think overall, his first year, he's going to be learning a lot. So we'll go on to number 5 pick, and we'll stay in the secondary. We just did the number 5 pick. I'm sorry. Okay, Number 6, Khalil McKenzie from Tennessee. I'll just say that, him as a defensive guard, his potential is there. He was on a horrible Tennessee defense that was ranked 81st in the nation of 129 schools. He had 35 tackles and 2 sacks. He's good at maintaining his gap, so he'll be good against the run. I think when he gets put with a better group, I think we'll have better results out of him. But that he's still one of those question marks. I think that he's kind of a stab in the dark for our last pick. We'll see what happens, but he might not make it into the starting rotation. He didn't really have a lot to show as far as any type of highlights for the year. And let me say that, for the whole year. So we were basically just filling a gap here with this guy. We'll see if he makes the cut. So that's our 2018 draft class. And, I want to take a second to turn back time a little bit here and take a look at our last 5 draft classes as an organization. We have really, really, really made a huge impact on our team overall with our draft picks. That's something as an organization we really haven't been good at the last 30 years. We've had a lot of flops. But I'm going to start at 2013. We picked up Travis Kelce, and this is under John Dorsey. John Dorsey was our GM from 2013 to 2016. But 2013, we got Travis Kelce. 2014, Dee Ford. 2015, Marcus Peters. 2016, Tyreek Hill and Chris Jones. 2017, Pat Mahomes and Kareem Hunt. What a 5-year stint as far as draft picks. So as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, if you're not going into 2018 and looking at this draft class and not being completely excited, you've been sleeping on Andy Reid for 5 years. So the excitement is real. These players fit perfectly into our scheme and into our depth chart. They are all dynamic playmakers that can potentially make a huge impact. And that's at least 4 of the 6 draft picks. But that's good. If you're getting 4 really dynamic players out of 1 draft, you're doing great. And we really, really dug deep and we looked into this draft and we picked out the best defensive players for our unit because we knew we needed it. Our team's young. We're fast. We're dynamic. We're going to be big problems for a lot of teams. So get excited, Kansas City. We absolutely have a lot to look forward to. This will conclude my 2018 draft class overview. It's nice to kind of get an in-depth look at what our draft class is and what they bring to the table. Just because you watch the NFL does not mean that you watch college football faithfully. So, with the holes that we have in our team, I think it's important as a fan that you realize how we're filling these holes and the type of skill sets that these players have and how they mesh well with Big Red's system. So with all that being said, thank you for listening to my broadcast. It has been a pleasure, and I will talk to you all July 5th. Tomorrow is the 4th, so I'm going to take the day off. Happy 4th of July to all of you. And this is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour.